It seems that for many years, eBay sellers, including myself, have been clamoring for a feature that would force buyers that send you offers to actually pay for those offers and complete the sale, rather than sending you an offer that you're happy with, you accept, and then you don't hear anything from them. And you then have to wait 4 days to allow them to pay or not pay. And in most cases, they don't pay. So you then have to cancel the pending order, as it were, and then relist the item after that. So your item becomes unavailable for 4 days. A few weeks or months ago, eBay added this feature where now if a buyer makes an offer, once you accept their offer, they're automatically charged. So some kind of pre-charge is done to the buyer's bank account. And on paper, that's wonderful. And I actually think it is a great addition. And it shows that eBay do sometimes listen to their sellers, which is always nice. However, with a new feature, there can be a new set of challenges. And I've now had two separate situations to do with this new feature. And I was wondering whether you guys had any kind of advice or solutions to this problem, because I can see it becoming a little bit frustrating. So the first incident I had was the buyer made me an offer, and it came up with a little message saying, you've received this offer, the buyer will be automatically charged if you accept this offer. I was happy with the offer, I accepted the offer, and the item was paid for, and I think it was just over the weekend. So the item wasn't due to be shipped out until Monday. Now, once I'd accepted the offer, like a day or two later over the weekend, I got a message from the buyer saying, oh, I ordered this by accident, can you cancel it? And I think what happened there was, it was quite a positive of this new feature where eBay pre-charges buyers making offers, because I'm guessing what would have happened is the buyer made the offer to me thinking that it was just an offer that is not binding, even though it's plastered everywhere when they make offers that the offers that they make are binding. But they made an offer, they probably thought there was no like consequence to it. I accepted, obviously they got charged, and they realized, hey, I've been charged for this, my account is now less X amount of money. So they were encouraged to contact me in order to resolve it. So then I luckily hadn't obviously shipped the item out, it was the weekend, I cancelled the order and they got their refund, and I was able to relist the item. And I thought to myself, well, that's annoying, because you would have thought they would have seen that they were going to be charged. But on the other hand, it saved me from having to have an item that was sold for 4 days for me to then have to cancel the order stating the buyer hadn't paid to relist it. So I thought, well, it's quicker than that, that's a good thing. But it was still, like, I thought, that's a bit annoying that despite all of the prompts that eBay must place on the buyer's screen when they're making these offers saying, hey, you will be charged if you send this offer, they still send the offer and are still unaware that they're going to be charged, and it comes as a surprise to them. Now, just this past week, again at the weekend, oh no, was it a weekend? I'm not sure actually, but again in this past week, I received another offer on an item. It was £100 offer on a camera actually, and I was happy with the offer. I accepted the offer, and again the buyer was automatically charged on their bank account for the item. They must have also received confirmation that the item had been purchased by them. Surely they would have had something like that. And I believe that on eBay Open they showed us that the buyer has to put in their card details for this whole kind of offer procedure, where they accept that they're putting their card details in, and if they make an offer they're going to be charged. But despite this buyer made an offer, I accepted, they got charged. I then shipped the item out, and this was, again, I think the sale was made over the weekend, so the item was shipped out on a Monday. And then on a Tuesday, or was it even the day after that, I got a message saying, hey, is it possible to cancel this? I ordered by accident. I'm like, how many people are ordering by accident at this point? It's quite frustrating. But they ordered by accident, they wanted to cancel it. If not, I will refund it once I receive it. And I informed the buyer that the item had already been shipped. They would have received some kind of, hey, your item's on its way email, because I used tracked service. So I don't believe that it was like as much of a surprise as the buyer was making out. But hey, they've got every right to do this. So the item has already been shipped out to the customer, and as it stands now, I have to wait for the customer to receive the item, and then now they will get a refund once they return it to me. But the problem is, whereas before, if before when this wasn't a thing, when this whole auto charging wasn't a thing, this buyer may just not have paid for this camera, and after 4 days I would have just been able to cancel and relist it. Now that 4 days doesn't seem so bad, because now I've had to send the camera out to the customer. Customer's going to receive the camera. Hopefully they won't do anything to the packaging or anything like that. They won't open it or anything. But then they're going to then refund it to me, and I've got 30 days returns, which means potentially, and if I went to 60 days returns, potentially the customer could have that much time to return to me for a refund. And that during that period of time, I don't mind the return for a refund. People have the right to change their mind, but most of the time when people buy something they actually want, they won't refund. But in this particular case, they've bought something that they're not quite bothered about wanting. They actually didn't want the item, they wanted to cancel the order, but now they're going to receive the item, and the only thing that's going to determine how quickly they return it to me is how quickly they want their money back. Now, if they're not fussed about getting their money back immediately, if it's not a life or death situation for them to get their £100 back and they can wait a few days or a few weeks, it might not be high on their priority list to return the item, because after all, they do have the comfort of knowing that once they return it within the 30-day period, they will get a refund, so they know they're protected. So there's no rush really for them to return the item and resolve the matter, unless there's an urgency for them to get that money back for their normal living, etc., or whatever. So they're not under any rush. So now potentially I could be without this item. It's off sale. I know they've got it, and they could take up to 30 days to return it to me for a refund. So it's created a situation now where people are getting items, because obviously I've posted it out. I wish I hadn't posted it, but I had to post it, because otherwise I would have been dinged on my account if you have to post your items out obviously within a certain time frame, so you don't get dinged on your account for late postage. And obviously I didn't get contacted by this buyer to say they didn't want the item until I'd already posted it. They contacted me literally days after their account had been charged. I would have thought they would have noticed much quicker. Normally bank apps now give notifications that payments have gone out, etc., depending on what your notifications are. But surely your eBay notifications alone would have told you purchased this, congratulations, you bought this item. Hey, this item's now been shipped, and that's, I'm guessing, when I got contacted. So they must have received an email saying I've shipped the item, and that's when they've decided to contact me for a return or a refund. But obviously they now have to wait to receive the camera, and then they have to send it back to me, and it's quite a faff. So basically, I'm wondering if you guys have got any suggestions on how to avoid this. I mean, I was thinking I could potentially send out messages to everybody that accepts an offer saying, hey, you've been charged for this item and I will be shipping it out at this time or before this time, so please let me know before this time, otherwise the item will be shipped out to you. But there's no requirement for that customer to get back to me within my shipping time frame, and they might get back to me after the shipping time frame, after which it's pointless because the item's been sent, and we're going to have to then go through the rigmarole of them receiving the item, opening a return case, returning the item, and it's not a great situation. So if you guys have got any smart suggestions on how to deal with this, I'm all ears. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. It's a great addition, I do think, overall, charging customers once they've made the offer, but I still think it's going to take a while, I guess, before customers realize that making an offer is binding, and is now to the point where it's binding that they will get charged as soon as their offer gets accepted. But even then, obviously, it doesn't stop the fact that if a customer's just throwing out offers willy-nilly and they don't really want the item, they're not going to want the item. So what if you've charged them? All you've done is create another barrier, and they'll just get their refund. It might stop them doing the same thing again in the future, but obviously that doesn't help me right now. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.